So today I am joined by Shairb Mohammed. You're obviously coming off the back of cornering both Leeds-based and Uni of Leeds boxers at BUCS this weekend. First of all, can you kind of tell me what else you do in boxing? I know you're with Tigers, like what else really?
Yes, it's actually quite an exciting time in my sort of coaching career, if you could call it that. So just starting this year, Leeds-based, I've come back to university with a master's degree in war and conflict, which is what I teach as my job. So they put me on a bit of a scholarship to like coach. So they help me out with a bit of money. They give me some nice kit to wear. I haven't quite found it, but I do need to get a hold of that. And they also invite me to like seminars on like group leadership things. So I will like have a day of uni and they like have people to come and talk to us about it. So that's pretty good. So I'm doing that with the university. Outside of university, my actual boxing club is Tigers Amateur Boxing Club, so that's a really good place to sort of work at. I just volunteer there, so they have 6 hours a week, so it's only a part-time club. And it's run by Jason Gledhill, so he's a head coach, but he also works at GB as a part-time performance coach. He helps out all the people with the Olympians and also the England senior team who aren't quite on the Olympic level but just sort of like a level below, which is great for him and it's good to learn lots of things from him, to like learn drills of him and etc. But then it means that the gym needs a lot of current money away. So for example, he was in India for 2 weeks, which affected BUCS quite heavily. So we lost the coach there, which meant that I then had to do more. So the coaching capacity less and the team growing more, it's a lot harder for the coaches. I'm also just about to start a new job at the University of Bradford. They're about to develop a Bradford Boxing Academy. Right. So what they want to do at the moment is, so they've got a GB coach there called Mali McIver, who's going to be like a new line manager, and I'm just going to help them develop a university boxing club like we've done with Leeds-based and Leeds University. But we're just going to try start with a junior club and then hopefully build up senior and hopefully then build it up to a fully fledged amateur boxing club like Tigers is. So that's going to be my new sort of project. I'll be starting that in a couple of weeks or so. Yeah. So that'll be good, yeah.
Yeah, that definitely sounds good. Like I was gonna say, like obviously you've graduated at Uni of Leeds already, haven't you? Like how did you actually get into cornering and coaching? Like I know it's a level 1 or something. Like how do you actually get into it all?
So when I started for university, we had a bit of a problem because it was run by some volunteers, which was great. They worked really hard, but they wasn't fully aware of how amateur boxing works. So there's a lot of admin behind it. You need to have like a medical card, and you need to sign up to the vault, and you also need to corner your boxing. You need a level 2 England boxing qualification, which is basically a lanyard. So you can get a level 1, but that only allows you to hand up. But so you need a level 2 to actually go inside the ring to give advice, and then run your own boxing club and run sparring. So when I was at university, we didn't quite have one, but we had a boxer card and he had a tournament up in Birmingham, but there's no cornering, and I thought, it's a bit naff that, so he goes there and does some straight cornering. So that's when I got in touch with a woman called, I think it was Susie Garnett at University of Leeds, and she was really helpful. She put me in a coaching scholarship and they paid for my level 1 and my level 2 badges, which was good. So that's not how I got in. I just got in because like, bloody hell, I can't be going all over there without a coach. Yeah. So that's how I got in, and then I thought like, right, let's build a University of Leeds boxing team. So when I was captain for that year, I built a team of 4. I'm also doing that, just helping out Jason, shadowing him, and then just learning and bringing those drills back to University of Leeds and did my level 1. And then you need to wait a year before you do your level 2. Right. So I had to wait a year and then did my level 2. So the level 2 exam is a lot harder than the level 1 exam. The level 1 exam, because you've just been in the system, the idea is you sort of pass it, you know how to do a little bit of boxing, but then you go back to your club and your head coach actually teaches you. But your level 2, what it gives you is once you got level 2, you'll have to open your own boxing club. So there's a lot more scrutiny under you. So you have to bring in boxers, you have to take a sparring session. You have to run a technical sparring session, which is sort of like sparring but with the rules, so you might say lead hand only. Okay. And then it was like, what you do pads, and they've got like 3-4 England boxing coaches cornering you, like whilst watching you do it, watching you ask questions, asking you to correct things. Then you develop they need to show that you can do the skills yourself, and then they give you a class of boxing you never met before. All this is in one day, by the way. So all this exam is mental. Right. And then you do that, and then you need to do a spoken exam with the Yorkshire Boxing Examiner, and then you do a written exam as well, and you do all that in one day. And the day will give you a lunch break sometimes, so it's quite rough. Yeah, it's quite stressful. 66% pass rate has that course. It's quite hard, it's quite highly scrutinised because these people are now gonna which it should be. You can have them take care of young children and senior box and their development, and you can basically be the boss of your gym. So you need to make sure you know what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely. I was like, obviously it'll vary fight to fight, but have you got kind of like a pattern of what you actually say when you're in the corner to your fighters? Like, do you have like a straight way of saying it, or?
Yeah, definitely. There's a pattern to it. Like I do have a formula for everything. When you're in the corner, you don't want to overload them with information. So a lot of novice coaches will overload them, but you need to do this, you need to do that, you for a double jump backhand, you need to go under can you see how he drops the left hand with the hook, roll under with it, from backhand, take away the ring. But that's too much information, I'm going to take that in. Yeah. First thing what you want to do, as soon as they get into the ring, but while with my box I do, so as soon as that bell rings, they need to be taking deep breath as they walk into the corner already. So that way, as soon as they sit down, going to do some deep breathing. I take the gum shield out, get my second to wash it. Whilst he's washing it out, I'll give him the water bottle. I'll talk to him, I'll give him a drink if they want one. And all it is one thing they can do better and one thing they need to do more of, okay? So if they're doing really well with catching up with the 1-2, throw more of that. If they're quite bad at if they're stepping back too much or they're regressing spacing, I'll be like, do less of that. So there's always do more of one thing and do less of another thing. Something in my box a bit more experience, if I've got like Will Gillis in the corner or Ben Robbo, I know what they're doing is quite well, so I might just be like, right, tighten up on your guard, but your opponent is doing this badly, go take advantage of it. I don't need to tell him exactly how to take advantage of it, he already knows, they're being coached how to box this, so I'll be right, this is what you're doing bad, and they'll know how to go take advantage of it. So I'll be like, if you're regressing too much, they'll know to cut the ring off. If I tell him he's overloaded, they'll be waiting for it to roll under, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think obviously having a positive it'll be good because like, it keeps your head up, doesn't it? But, have you got a favourite moment of coaching or cornering? I imagine that might be up there, but is there like a top moment that you can remember? Yeah,
definitely. There's a couple of moments. I think there's been a long time where you're trying to like push people into boxing, like, oh, you should really ever go at boxing. So there was a girl boxer at Uni of Leeds years ago, like Isabella and Lydia, and they both wanted to do amateur boxing, but they wasn't quite ready for it. But it was good for me to like coach two non-bouters and then finally get them, build them up, build their confidence, build their skills to finally have their first amateur bout, which they both did with their first amateur bout, which was great. They both did then graduate and win the BUCS gold medal. I know from Brace, it was really good for it to like leave and carry the boxing on, which was good. At a more higher scale, it was good when Luke McDonald, it was last year, he boxed 9 times and he won 8, and the only bout he lost was a 3-2 split decision in the national ABA final. Right. That was a really proud moment for me. Although I haven't coached Luke as much, I was not the guy who taught him the skills, because Jason taught him that, but Jason was away a lot, so I had to corner him for the first 4 or 5 bouts on my own in the Yorkshire. So I took him out of Yorkshire. You need to box 3 times to get out of Yorkshire, and that then takes you into the quarterfinals, so like the Champions League. So we got out of Yorkshire, and then it was good to then get the quarterfinal, which was good. So when Jason came back, he was still in the tournament, which was quite proud of him to take a quite high level boxer. So before that, all my experience was dealing with people with less than 10 bouts, and now it's good to like show I can do it at the higher end of the spectrum as well.
Yeah, that is good. Now, obviously, aside from the coach, you obviously do box yourself. It was a bit of a nightmare at BUCS. Have you kind of been told why you weren't fighting? Because you was told that you was going to fight and then you wasn't. Like, what actually happened?
So the very odd because both the unis are registered to Thailand Amateur Boxing Club. So I sort of do have like a responsibility to make sure they're okay first. So because I haven't boxed much, these guys have more experience than me. So the problem with the first base was it was a Uni of Leeds lad. He hadn't written his cards on his bout. So then we get rid of that, and then that would have been my space. However, I'm not just going to allow that to happen when he's travelled to Portsmouth for no reason. So I had to get on the phone to England Boxing to get his bouts put on officially, because they're not in your card, it's not official. So we had to do like a bit of admin, and then he got his space back. And then I was then going to go into category B, but there's another Uni of Leeds lad. They said, oh, you've already got Leeds Beckett in that category, so it's unfair for me to give it to a different uni. So then give it to University of Leeds. But it all worked out for the best, because if I got in, I'd have had to box Matt Jenkins, which to drive me 6 hours to box him from your own club is a bit of a waste of time in my opinion, because I can just box him in Leeds any time I want. And also, if I then boxed, it would have meant 20 boxers, 1 coach, which again, I didn't want to put that onto my second coach. It's a lot of pressure, especially when you haven't done a tournament yourself before. So it worked out for the best. I was able to coach and corner and take these guys through and carry them through, which ended up being a great tournament, I think.
Yeah,
I think if you ignore the Union of Leeds and Leeds Beckett thing and you pretend to hide the amateur boxer with the university, I think we're probably the most successful club there if you put it like that. So it's good to be involved in it in that way.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, are you looking at getting a few bouts in this year, or are you more focused on like the coaching this year? Like,
yeah. Well, definitely, you always want to box if you can, but also you need to face the reality of what's in front of you. So, if there's enough coaches to run a session, that's a session that I've missed out on training. You know, probably have to coach it. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we can get a bit more coaches back into the gym and etc. But either way, I'm happy. Like you can box anytime. But coaching has to be done because there's more boxing than there are coaches. So it's just almost whatever's in front of you, the reality.
Definitely. Right, I'm going to go over BUCS again. I'm going to fire some names at you. I just want you to kind of give me an overview. First of all, I was going to say that obviously the fighters don't know who they're going to fight until the night before, and like a lot of the time they don't know much about their opponent. Like, how hard is that for you to kind of get your fight prepared for like almost an unknown battle? Like, how hard is that?
Yeah, it's quite hard because obviously they are like databases and stuff you can use to try and search them. But you're looking at 20 boxers, and if you're looking at potential free opponents, that's 60 boxers you have to research. And it's just not going to happen. Also, the philosophy of our boxing club, which Jason sort of passed down to me, is you don't need to be worried too much about your opponent. It's a little bit about they should be worried about what we can do. So whatever style they've got, they should have already been taught how to deal with it. It's just about figuring out what it is in the first 10 seconds, then adjusting. But also it should be, we've got a lot for them to worry about, so they should have to adjust to us, and we always want to put our game plan onto theirs. So it's a bit like Arsene Wenger football, when he's like, we get them to worry about the way Arsenal play rather than get Arsenal to worry about the way they play. So we now want to be confident, they can adapt. So it's that sort of thing. But obviously, sometimes they come across because a very obvious style, something very aggressive. I will have a quick 10-minute chat with them, a reminder about what they need to do against that sort of boxer. But I don't want to be teaching too much that late stage into the tournament, because we're deep into the tournament now. Once you get there, all the coaching is almost just a little bit of top up here and there.
Yeah, perfect. Right, the first person I'm going to ask about is Joe. Obviously, it was his first bout. Like, how do you think you did that? Obviously, I think you did really good, because obviously to have your first bout at BUCS, obviously it's quite a nerve-wracking thing. So just kind of what your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it is good. Obviously, BUCS is not the most prestigious tournament in the world, but it's still a tournament. And every tournament in people do want to win, so that competitive edge. Like I say, the note 7 category is quite open. We can box a 7 bouter. Joe was probably at the wrong weight class, so probably didn't keep an eye on him. So for quite a small boxer, he would be a lot weaker in that sort of weight category. However, I was very impressed with the amount of punch selection he was using, the amount of attacking variety he was using. He wasn't just head hunting like a lot of first battles. He was going head and body quite well. He put in quite a really good boxing display, and probably did gas out, and he's probably too small for the weight class. That's probably the biggest reason for his loss. Back in the gym, clear development points there. We can work some punch power, work on some sitting down on those shots a little bit better, full rotation on the shots. But lots of strength there as well, lots of punch variety, staying in the pocket, didn't lose too much ground, always try to fire back when you could. So there's lots there to work on. You look at a good potential boxer there. And lots of people lose their first bout, and boxers have become really great once they stick to it, like Ben Robo, for example, or Connell Cullen. They've gone and done really well this year.
Yeah. Another one, like, it's more about the results. Matthew Jenkins, obviously, his first bout was a varsity bout. Like, if no one's ever seen a varsity bout, like, there's another level to it in there, because obviously the atmosphere and the crowd. And obviously, he lost in the semis, and it was a really close decision. Like, can I get your thoughts on the initial win, because obviously they were a really close fight, and then him not getting the decision in the semi-finals?
Yeah, Matt Jenkins, another boxer. He's come to us on a loss. He boxed in the Marine before, got overly nervous in his first bout, from what he's told me. First bout varsity, it just brings that little bit extra edge, all of a sudden the both of you need to talk to each other. There's a little bit of friendly trash talk going about. So Matt Jenkins, me, Will Gibbs and Connor did seem sort of doing some nervous shadow boxing, warming up almost 2 hours early, so we sort of had to stop him to do that. So I told Connor to go down and have a word with him. But when it came to the performance, very good. He boxed like I know he can, like he shows in training, which sometimes what you get with your first 3-4 battles, there's sometimes what they are in the gym, they aren't in the ring. And that also happened for more experienced boxers, but especially for the newer ones. So it was good. He boxed in, very close decision. I think he won on a unanimous, or was it a split? I can't quite remember,
it was a really close fight.
He won a very close bout, and I think the result was fair. So he did beat him, and it was good. to get a good varsity win over them nice and early in the season, especially before the big one in March.
Yeah.
Second bout, amazing performance. He boxed against a
He boxed better, didn't he? I think.
He did. He boxed a lot better. He also boxed against a much tougher opponent. The other lad has boxed 10 times now, only lost once. And Matt lost him on a split decision, which means one judge did score the fight for Matt. So I was very proud of him, of course. It was close bout again, and you can make an argument for either boxer, but it was good that judges are neutral did say we won that bout, but other judges said we didn't. So he definitely did well. Because that was a club bout, something rang me up for that bout, you probably would reject it because of the experience level, but Matt sort of at that level to box somebody who should probably really be in the category above because he was on 7 bouts when he started. And he's on 10 now, but he was the eventual winner as well. So very proud of Matt for that performance. Brilliant. Really dug in. Didn't get bullied about. Really, settled down in his boxing. So he's great. Matt had a great tournament.
Yeah, he definitely did well. Now, obviously, I am a Leeds-based student, but I kind of wanted to mention, is he called Gabe from Uni of?
Yeah.
I think he looked really, really sharp, and I'll say that was the first time I saw him. Kind of like, I'm assuming you know more about him than I do. Like, what sort of experience does he have? Like, do you know how old he is? Like,
Gable's second year of uni now, so he must be around 20 or going to 21. He's been around amateur boxing for a good while. He's actually one of the most experienced people.
Okay.
So what you get in university boxing, you get some who are uni boxers who sort of learn about boxing at uni, learn to box there, and they're a little bit harder to develop. Whereas Gabriel has come from an amateur boxing club before, so I think he must have boxed 4 times before he came to uni, only losing 1. And I think he boxed 3 times last season, winning 2, losing 1, and then this season he's won all 3 actually. So he was really good at also boxing the varsity final. But yeah, he's good. Quite a scrappy boxer, quite awkward. I wouldn't say the cleanest boxer, but I would say he's well experienced and sort of good at what he does.
Yeah.
But I do believe he's only got 1 loss on his record, but I think he might have been undefeated when he came to I think he lost in the semi-final last year. Was his only loss. So yes, I think he's 7-1, so he did really well. And yeah, boxed, quite proud moment, but also a bit of an annoying moment when you're a varsity final. 2 box from Max. Proud to be in it, but obviously it's annoying because you love to be in both corners, but you can't. You have to just be in one. So
yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Yeah, Connell as well. So he lost his first bout at BUCS last year, and then he went on to the final this year to get the silver. Like, I'm assuming you're very proud of him. Like.
Definitely, yes. And Connell, I didn't really see too much of him last year because I wasn't at Leeds-based last year.
Yeah.
And he only came a handful of times to Tigers. So with Connell, he sort of rushed into his first bout. I would probably say he wasn't quite ready for it. And then he had a nightmare opponent against somebody who was at 5 or 6 or 7. Opponent, former silver medalist as well. Right. And he stopped Connell quite quickly in that first bout, which is always going to happen, especially Connell being sort of a raw boxer, I would call. But he's come back this year, and he came back that same year, 1 varsity by stoppage. So he does have like natural power and a lot of natural grit that he already had. But it's good to get a bit of coaching and boxing school behind that this year. Yeah. So we got him busy nice and early because although he's quite raw, it was sort of causing him a lot more problems than it would solve. So we got him to tighten up a little bit. Got him busy. Boxing 3 times before BUCS. I think he lost 2, 1-1. But it's good to just get experience in. Some of those were quite close. He could have won 2 out of 3 quite easily. But then it's good to then take all that experience into BUCS with him. And then it showed, got first round stopping his first bout. Yeah. Unfortunately, the semi-final bout got called off because due to the opponent pulling out. Unfortunately, I think he did well in that bout. And then boxing the final, losing on split again. A split's always a hard one, but it's always good to know that one judge who did think you won instead of a coach saying you won because there was that sort of bias there. But when a judge says you won, that's a neutral, that's somebody you know that's talking about. So it's always good to get a split despite it being stinging. But another close bout, a little bit of bad habits came through in the 3rd round. We dropped the guy who got a stand in it. But yeah, overall great tournament for Connell as well. Yeah. Right now, can you kind of tell me who impressed you the most from, we'll say Leeds Beckett, which Leeds Beckett fighter impressed you the most this year at BUCS? I would have to say Blessing now. Blessing definitely impressed me the most. Blessing has got a bit of a very harsh record when you look at his card. I think he was 1-4 before he came to the tournament. Okay. So that's 1 win, 4 losses. So that's really rough. He also had a very, very harsh stoppage in the beginning of the season. But he didn't. What did he do? When he got stopped, he came back to the gym Monday. He said, "Shairb, how can I improve?" I was very proud of him for coming back into the gym so soon. We got him about at the home show. Again, losing from the home crowd again, which isn't nice. So now we're going into BUCS now. 1-5, 1-6. Losing quite a lot. And then good first fight, a little bit gun shy, a little bit hesitant, which is a bit of a weakness in, but scraped through. Second round was very scrappy, but got 2 points taken off him and still won the bout, and that is because he was able to just keep composed, keep his temperament. So the first round would have been a 9-9, second round would have been 9-9, so the third round it would have been already won that, and he gave his opponent a standing 8 count, which was good. So he won the bout on the last round, which was good. And then the final again he showed that natural power. I don't think the opponent was too interested in it too much. He was trying to hold, trying to pull, trying to throw him. And it was good for Blessing to win that bout. So three wins out of 3 is a real underdog story, and to them now to be national champion at any sort of category is tough, isn't it? So I'm really proud of Blessing for that, definitely.
Yeah, and then aside from Blessing, just the next one, is there anyone that you would say has improved the most this year? Like obviously Connell, maybe.
Definitely a few people have to be Connell and Blessing, definitely 2 boxers who have a very raw style of boxing. They're trying to teach them to box a little bit more rather than just coming and scrap. So it has to be even for both of them. Yes, Blessing obviously gets the headline for winning the gold medal, but Connell stops his opponent on the first day, boxed 3 times before the tournament, and then put a really good performance. And it's a very aggressive opponent, which is very hard to box in the final.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to pick between them and say it's definitely between them 2 who improved the most.
Yeah. Okay. Now, in the pro fights, have you got a pro fight, a favourite professional fighter of yours?
Yeah, it wasn't. I think a good few years ago, Luke Campbell was probably my favourite professional boxer. Okay. He's obviously retired now. So whereas now, I haven't really got too much of a favourite boxer now, but people like Callum William Smith I quite like, he's really good. I quite like Dan Aziz and Josh Buatsi, them 2 were really good, we got to watch them box on Saturday. Bonus, bit of hate, them 2 have boxed against a former Leeds Met boxer before, called Ashley Ramsey back in the day. I'm pretty sure Ashley Ramsey didn't beat them both.
Didn't one of them win BUCS as well?
Yeah, Dan Aziz started boxing at university actually, and he won a BUCS gold medal, so yeah he did, so then he kept going, and now he's fought for the British title and lost with a close fight, to be fair. So yeah. So it does show you can take it far even if you start boxing quite late.
Now obviously you are a neutral, being both Union and Leeds Beckett, but obviously we have got the varsity coming up in March. Is there any kind of matchups that you like the idea of? Is there anyone that you kind of want to see against each other?
Yeah, definitely there's a few good matches that can be made. Just the rematches, to do straight rematches from the varsity would have been good. You do Matt Jenkins versus the opponent he boxed in the first round. You do Gabriel versus Philip, which is the varsity final rematch. And Joe versus George, good another varsity final rematch would be good. But after January, coursework and deadlines set in, and you got to deal with real life world being amateur boxers. So a lot of people aren't able to box as much as they like to. But we'll have to see Connell in a varsity match again. Sometimes boxers are too experienced, like Ben Robbo is probably too experienced for a union boxer now. Or varsity normally is sort of an best of under 7 fight sort of thing, just because of the way it's run. So yeah, definitely love to see those bouts there. Just those 3 matches would be brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the thing, a lot of them was really close one, so to run it back at that event as well. Coming towards the end, George, obviously he's quite new, he's a fresher. How much did he impress you? He kind of came in.
Yeah, he's good. He's a fresher to Leeds Beckett, but he's a second year Leeds Beckett student. Yeah, he did impress me. He was one of the more experienced boxers coming into the tournament, so he was already had 3 fights, 3-0 before he came in. So definitely put him in the up 7 category. Definitely put him down as a favourite to win it. And before I started, I thought it would be him and Joe in the final. If they managed to avoid each other before because of the draw. So I do think the 2 best boxers were in the final, and I think the styles perfectly complemented each other. You got a tall boxer trying to keep it range, and then quite an aggressive, hard hitter boxer, and those bouts are always the most interesting. So good clash of styles between the varsity clash. But yeah, he impressed me a lot. First bout, was just way better than his opponent. Unfortunately, stopped him in the first round, but it was good to pick him off the way he did. Second bout, a lot closer, boxing against somebody boxers like him, which is always hard. It's sort of a battle of will more than other battle of skill, but they're both two very game boxers, and that's always tough one to do. Must have been the most bouts for, and I would say that's probably the best box fight I've seen. This is my fourth year going to box, and I'd definitely say that's the best one I've seen. And especially watching it from the front row was good as well. And then in the final, it was great. I'd probably say he had the edge just because of the experience and the no aggression, but I think Joe gave a great account of himself, and it was a very good close bout.
Definitely, yeah. And then to close it off, what is in store for you in 2024? Like, what goals have you got? What are you wanting to do this year?
Well, just this weekend coming up, we've got the National Youth quarter-finalists. So we've got 3 boxers from Tigers in that, so definitely hoping to win a national title again. I hope to get myself another one of these. It's been a year without one, which is a bit unfortunate. So I can't be going to use that one. That would cause a bit of a tragedy in Tigers.
Yeah.
So I don't want those 3 to win it. And we've got Anas, Ellie and Oscar. Ellie's won 2 national titles before, but with a different club. Oscar and Anas is the furthest they've been, so hopefully they'll win. I think Oscar's got a straight semi-final. Well, Anas has got a quarter-final, so he's boxing Friday. I won't be able to go due to work, but Jason Reynolds back will be able to take him, but I'll be there for the semis and the finals.
Okay.
On the fun day, but that's the first thing. Next thing, we're going to develop that Bradford Boxing Academy up. We've got a 3-month initial sort of plan to get a junior and a team and a teenage team going to set it off, but hopefully we can really grow that, especially in the summer when I've got a lot more time. But I haven't got university, I haven't got my teaching commitments. I've got a lot more time into that. But yeah, really develop that. And then of course Tiger Amateur Box Club, that's still there. Keep that running, keep that developing, keep that club growing. Try and build up the attendance a little bit more from the union boxers, because that will really help them with their sort of development. And then we've got the big varsity match up in March, so matchmake for that and trying to keep boxers busy as much as possible.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you for your time, mate. I do appreciate it.